Hey VC, Jack here. Welcome to Vinyl Martini. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I am going to borrow an idea because like everybody who has a channel, sometimes we get stumped. We're looking around for ideas about what to do and on our next show. I was watching my buddy Mike from MGK Boston the other day, and he borrowed a thread from somebody else's show albums from A to Z, artists that start with the letters A to Z. And he borrowed that from another guy who has a great channel, Doug Anderson. I'm sure if you've been watching my channel, you know who Doug's channel is. If you haven't, sub him up. He's a great guy. He's the sage of the Midwest. And he did this on his debut, his introduction to the VC video. And he did a great job because I remember watching that. So without further ado, Under the A, King Sunny Ade from Nigeria, 1984 album on Island Records. And yes, Steve, from All the World's a Stage, it is under the A, under a day, not K for king. Great shimmering guitar work on here. So many guitar players on here, just this typical big African band. If you've never heard of them, check them out, King Sunny Ade. Bebop Deluxe, their 1972 record, I believe. I don't know. I might have the year wrong. No, it's actually 1978, sorry. And the album is called Drastic Plastic. Opening track, Electrical Language. It is, that's a great song. The whole record's great. Bebop Deluxe is getting a lot of attention on the VC lately, and deservedly so. Bill Nelson's solo work is totally different than this. It's very electronic. It's not for everybody, but Bebop Deluxe, I don't think they put out a bad record. Somebody that I've never seen showing on here. I've shown him on the VC. This is Pete Carr. He is a session guitar player from Muscle Shoals, Alabama. The album is called Not a Word on It, and that is because it is completely instrumental. He's a fantastic guitar player. He is backed by other Muscle Shoals session players. This is a fantastic record. Think Jeff Beck, not a shredder, but a great, great guitar player, great tone on his guitar. Pete Carr. Under the D, Willie DeVille, Mink DeVille, his stage name. This is his 1980 album, Le Chat Bleu. He's been around for a while. I think he's passed away, but he got a start in New York. He's in, I don't know exactly which borough he's from, but he used to play at CBGB's, sort of a late 50s, kind of early 60s sound to him, very, very lush. Great songwriter, dresses up in that kind of suit and tie, very debonair manner. I've got his first 4 records. They're worth grabbing. They're cheap. You see them around. Pick one up. One of my heroes, Steve Earle. Great showman, great storyteller. This is his second album. It's Exit O. Steve Earle and the Dukes. Fantastic. The Rain Came Down is on here. The Week of Living Dangerously. It was recorded digitally, but so what? Still sounds great. Steve Earle. Band that doesn't get much love on the VC. It's a Dutch prog band called Focus. This is Focus 3. Fantastic instrumental on here called Sylvia. It's got Ties van Leer plays flute, I think, and bass. Pierre van der Linden, I think, was on keyboards, and the wonderful Jan Akkerman on guitar. Double album from 1973. Focus. Gentle Giant. This is a 1972 release. I don't think it was released domestically. This is a British import. Fantastic, fantastic quality, fantastic songs on here. Gentle Giant. I know that a lot of people like Gentle Giant, and their records are pretty hard to find out in the wild. Another artist that doesn't get a lot of love, Roy Harper. Roy Harper's had a very, very long career. He's one of those guys that is impossible to pin down what he does. He does folk, he does rock. This is a 1975 release on Chrysalis. Came out the same time as Wish You Were Here, Pink Floyd's Wish You Were Here. He's good buddies with Pink Floyd. As a matter of fact, it's Roy Harper doing the vocals on Have a Cigar. Roy Harper. Eyes. I'm really thin on the eyes. I only have 3 artists in the eyes, and I used one the other day, and always, you know, when somebody asks us to spell something in one of the threads, like spell vinyl or spell Ireland or whatever, I am hard pressed to come up with an I. So here is the Incredible String Band. I'm probably going to be looking for bands that start with the letter I out on the wild from now on, so that I have some more backup for threads like this and contests. So Incredible String Band, a nice English traditional folk band, Incredible String Band. Another band, I love these guys. This is Japan, Obscure Alternatives. Japan are, I don't know, post-punk. Got their start, I guess around, I think they've released their first record in about 1977, I think. This is a 1978 release. I don't think it's a comp though. Anyways, it's got some great songs on here. Obscure Alternatives is great. Suburban Berlin, The Tenant, Love is Infectious. I mean, every song is great. I love Japan. I love David Sylvian. Fantastic record. Fantastic band. Gonna fly the Canadian flag here and show a band that I don't think I've ever seen on the VC. It's a band called Kensington Market. This is an album from, I think, 1967, maybe 1968. They were a rock band from back in the old days. Yeah, before Toronto became the center of the universe, and it was a really cool place to live back then in the 70s and the 60s. Kensington Market, a pretty hard album to find. Canadiana, there it is. Kensington Market. Next, one of my favorites, Nick Lowe, Nick the Knife. Nick Lowe, collaborator with Elvis Costello, great artist in his own right. Under the L, Nick Lowe. Southern rock here, under M, Molly Hatchet, their first record. I'm a big Southern rock fan. I picked the first 3 records up. I think I got them 3 for $5, and they're in pretty good shape. This is their first record from 1978. I think you only need the first 3 records. Molly Hatchet aren't for everybody. They're pretty much, I would say, a tier 2 Southern rock band. You know, not quite Allman Brother-ish, but pretty good all the same. Laura Nyro, one of the best unheralded songwriters, singer-songwriters around. She's not around anymore. She passed away somewhere in the 90s, I think, a very young age, the same age her mother died at the age of 48. Fantastic songwriter. This is a promo copy. Great songs on here, Mr. Blue. I mean, she didn't record a bad album. You ever see a Laura Nyro record and you do like singer-songwriters, females, check Laura Nyro out. Under the O's, the old 97s. Another band that I never see shown on the VC. This is their 2012 release, and it is called Drag It Up. They are all country rock, Southern band. New kids on here, Borrowed Bride. I've got a couple of the records well worth checking out, the old 97s. Graham Parker and the Rumor, Under P. This is his third record, Stick to Me. Fantastic record, horns on here. I went to see Graham Parker open for Thin Lizzy once in Community College Fieldhouse in Toronto when this record was released in it doesn't have a date, but I think it was around 1979. I'm guessing. Just guessing on that. And I went to see Graham Parker. I did not go to see Thin Lizzy. Sorry, Steve, All the World's a Stage. I'm not the biggest Thin Lizzy fan. I left after Graham Parker played his set because it was so good and it was taking so long for the band to set up Thin Lizzy to come out. So I just took off, and it was Friday night around 10 o'clock or whatever. I was very thirsty, so we just went to the bar. I never got to see Thin Lizzy. Q, Quatermass. I have a nice punched copy. You can see the hole there. Prog, what can you say? Legendary album. Most sought out. It's very sought out for. It's prog. It's on Harvest. You see this out in the wild, or I'm sure it's been released. Pick it up. It's really, really good. Really heavy. Next up, Otis Redding. I've got an Otis Redding comp. It's the only Otis Redding I have. I just read a biography on Otis Redding, and he didn't really, I think he only recorded like 5 albums in total, maybe 4 albums, but this one's got, it's got so many great songs on here. One of the greatest soul singers ever. Tried Little Tenderness on here. The Change Is Gonna Come. Respect, of course. Respect is his song, and Aretha Franklin made it hers. I Can't Turn You Loose. I Can't Get No Satisfaction. Every song is great. Great comp. Great artist, Otis Redding. Under R, of course. We're getting there. S. This is Slade. Never translated very well in the US market, but they were a great band. I think I saw them open for Alice Cooper once. This is their first album, and it's just called Slade. And interesting enough, this is a Russian copy. The only Russian album I have in my collection. And I just stumbled upon it in a shop that really specialized in classical records. They had a few rock records, but I grabbed this. I don't know what I paid for it, but it was not cheap. But I'm glad to have it. Slade's first record. If it's not their first record, somebody can correct me in the comments below, please. Under T, one of my favorite bands, Talking Heads. And this is Remain in Light. Fantastic, fantastic album. Once in a Lifetime's on here. Born Under Punches. Every song is fantastic. Maybe the Talking Heads' last great record. I love Talking Heads. I saw them at the Ontario College of Art before they even released their first record. They're unknowns. I went with my buddy Brad, so I saw them way back when. UK for you, and this is I don't know how many records UK put out. I think maybe this was their only release, but they had the fantastic Eddie Jobson, John Wetton, Alan Holdsworth, and Bill Bruford got together and put this record out, and it is a goodie. I bought it for $2.79. There's the sticker, as in the stickers don't lie. Canadian Pressing, UK. V, we just lost this man. This is Tom Verlaine. I've been a big Tom Verlaine fan for many, many years. This one is called Cover. Bought this in, I think I picked this up in New York City for about $6. Tom Verlaine. I know everybody, Tom Verlaine, of course, was the guitar player and the writer for television. Everybody knows that, and everybody thinks, and maybe rightly so, that the first Marquee Moon record was the greatest thing he ever did. But like I said, he never put out a bad record. He was always working. I've got about maybe 7 or 8 of his records. And whenever I see one, I scoop it up because they're always well priced. Tom Verlaine. Another guy that never gets any cred is, under W, Jimmy Webb. Great writer, producer from the 60s and early 70s. This is the only solo record I have. I'm always looking for Jimmy Webb albums that he recorded himself. Very, very under the radar. None of the songs here were hits at all, but very, very, these are really, really good songs. A great songwriter. Check him out. He wrote By the Time I Get to Phoenix, Wichita Linesman, a number of songs for the Fifth Dimension. He produced the Fifth Dimension. He's an all-round musician and artist, Jimmy Webb. X. I woke up at night after I decided to do this show. I was going to do it today. Last night, I woke up in the middle of the night, basically, and said, you know, I don't think I have anything under the X, because Mike showed the band X, and I thought, I don't think I have any. I know I don't have anything by X, but I do have an XTC EP to save the day. And this is Senses Working Overtime, Egyptian Solution, Blame the Weather, Tissue Tigers. And I just bought this about a year and a half ago. So fortunately I picked that up, and it is a great single, XTC. We're getting there. Under the Y. Another band that doesn't really get enough credit is the Youngbloods. And this is their 1973 record. It's called high on a ridgetop. Of course, this is Jesse Colin Young's band. Nice country rock. Yeah, you can find these out in the wild all the time. Really cheap, really nice, pretty mellow music. But yeah, the Youngbloods, Under Why. And we are coming up to the last record. And I don't have very many Z's. I got to say that correctly because I know the Americans think, if I say Z like we do in Canada, people are going to go, what? So Under Z for ZZ Top. This is a great record. It's Only Love is on here. Arrested for Driving While Blind, El Diablo, $10 Man, Pan Am Highway Blues. 1976, before their MTV period, which is their best period, in my opinion. ZZ Top, I love ZZ Top, and I don't have any of the MTV stuff, but I do have the stuff right up until about 1980 or so. So, whoa, made it. 26 records in 16 minutes. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Give me a like, give me a comment, sub me up if you want, and I will see you next show. Cheers.